This video is not for everybody. Not everybody likes these concepts. I once had a woman who I was coaching her, and she says she prays for Mashiach because she doesn't want to ever die. And some people have fear of death. In Judaism, we're not supposed to be afraid of death. We're supposed to look forward to it. Mol Suf. Part of Musar is to be, or Chaim says that was to focus at our end. We say every single day in our prayers, when we wake up, we say, Hashem, you're going to take my soul from me one day. Because in Judaism, we look at death as giving us value to time. It gives us value to life and purpose of why we're here. And that's a great motivator of why are you here. We think about how we want to give our souls back to our creators. Like we say in the end of Eshet Chayil, V'tischak al-yom acharon, to laugh on our last day. And that laughing is about happy that I've done my mission in this world. Are we ready to give our souls back to our creator? Coming forward to Parashat Re'eh. Re'eh means Re'eh Elul Higia, which we say Elul is coming. And what's the difference about the Teshuvah in the days of the high holidays, different than the Teshuvah that's throughout the year, is that on the high holidays, we're not just doing Teshuvah for things that we've done wrong, we're doing Teshuvah for not being who we could be. And that's why we say in Yom Kippur, Ad shelo notzarti eni kedai, v'achshav shenotzarti ki lo notzarti, afar ani b'chayai. We say, I was not worth being born, and now that I was born, it's as if I wasn't born. We're referring to this type of tshuva for not fulfilling our mission and being who we're supposed to be. And we're supposed to look forward for that, those days from now, and start getting ready for those moments of standing before Hashem at the time of blowing the shofar where we'll be judged. Are we doing our purpose? And at times in Yom Kippur when we say those words, are we doing our purpose? And the question is, what is our purpose? And when we think about this, it gives us the power to do the right thing. So we know that Yosef, when he was tempted by the sin with the wife of Potiphar, so Yosef said to the wife of Potiphar, listen, Zalika. He says, listen, Zalika, I can't do this because Hashem comes to our family, suddenly, family members. He came to my grandpa Yitzchak. And he says he wants my grandpa Avraham to take his son Yitzchak as a akedah, as a bond himself to be ready to give up his soul. And being that in our family, that's what's expected of us. So I feel that I can't just go ahead and do the sin, because what if God comes to me and I'm in the middle of an immoral act and I'm not ready and worthy of bringing up my body to Hashem as a sacrifice if he catches me in such an act. So this is a motivator when a person thinks about, at any moment I have to give my life back to my creator. How do I want to give my life back to my creator? There's a story that happened in Israel with a girl who wanted to get into a seminary in Bnei Brak. And the girl was a good girl. She kept all of her study responsibilities, did all her homework, got great grades. A good girl, but she always had a problem with her keeping her modesty. And she had a hard time with her top button, and a hard time with, tight clothing, and a hard time with the skirt length and her elbows. And head of the school said, you're a great girl, you're accepted, but your clothes are not. And she said, you know what? These are all my clothes, they're all the same. It's not just me getting rid of one or two parts of my wardrobe. My whole wardrobe is like this. And she decided that she's not going to go to this higher level seminary, higher level high school in Bnei Brak. She'll just go to something more simple. And that's how it ended. A year later, the head of that seminary, she's notices this girl on the street. And the girl is dressed very modestly with her top button closed, and she's wearing her long skirt, and she's covering her elbows properly, and she's just like a Bat Melech, daughter of a king, daughter of Hashem, like a princess, regal. And she says to the girl, wow, I see that you're so dressed so nicely. And he says, what happened? Last year you didn't want to give up on any of your clothing, and now I see how you became so modest. So she says to her, I'll tell you what happened. She says, there was a terrorist attack in Pardes Katz, and everybody, when they heard that there's a terrorist around the area with a gun, everybody went into hiding. I hid out next to below a car, and I heard the gunshot, and I heard that the person was going to be buried, and I wanted to go to the person's funeral because I was saved and this person wasn't. She said she went to the person's funeral and she heard that they buried this person with his clothing, because the law is that if there's blood out of the body, the blood has to be buried as well. And since there's blood on the clothing, they have to bury the blood on the clothing. So this person who was shot had to be buried with his clothing. And the way that she took this trauma was that, what would have happened if it would have been me? And what would have happened if I would have to go to God wearing clothing that's not modest? So I decided that I'm always going to be ready with my clothing, just in case I have to go with my clothing to God. And that's what we have to think about when we think about Elul. Are we ready for the moments of judgment? What if we had to have the shofar being blown right now? And are we ready for saying to Hashem, I'm doing my mission? What if we had to be ready right now for Yom Kippur? What would we do right now if we had to be ready? That's the way to get ready.